What happens when you go head-to-head with not only one of the hottest young walleye professionals in the country,
wow,
but also one of the biggest and baddest bodies of water on the map, and a fish species prone to weather change lockjaw? Steve Benaz is about to find out on Lake Commandos.
I love fishing new water. The challenge is always the same. Find fish, trigger strikes. Ooh, that's a big fish. But what I really love is beating the other guy. I got a fish. This is Lake Commandos. Lake Commandos is powered by Nissan Titan, backed by America's best truck warranty.
Lake Commandos love fishing out-of-the-way places. Sometimes lakes that are so small they're difficult to find. That's not a problem today, because as part of one of the largest bodies of fresh water on the planet, there's no missing massive Green Bay. And the bigger the water, the bigger the challenges, be it the weather, the fish, or the other guy, who today is one of the hottest young walleye pros in the business, Corey SPRENGLE.
We're kind of going to fish that middle part of the bay. You know, it's got a lot of numbers, and that makes a good size. And but I think the whole casting thing with this little cold front we got going on, put those baits right in front of those fish. I mean, we're definitely going to catch them.
Here's today's mission: break down the big water of Green Bay to locate and catch cold front affected walleyes.
Hey, this is Green Bay, home of some giant walleyes. What's interesting about today is we got fairly calm conditions. The wind's supposed to pick up from the south today, and I'm really hoping that these fish are going to go on rattle baits. Yeah, rattle baits. This is the Berkley War Pig. Comes in a couple different sizes. I like the chrome in this clear water, especially the chrome blue or some of the other colors like that. Now for casting distance, I really want to bomb these things way out there and cover water. So I'm throwing a brand new line from Berkley. It's called Fireline Ultra 8. It's in 10-pound test. Now with the clear water, obviously, I'm going to a 10-pound fluorocarbon leader. I may bump that up to 12 or 15, depending on see what happens, but right now I'm gonna stick with 10. I'm throwing it on an Abu Garcia Fantasista rod. This is a 7-foot medium heavy. In terms of a reel, this is a Revo SX20. I love the reel in terms of the drag. It's smooth, it's fun, it's a great reel to fish. Hey, Corey is known as a top walleye guy. It's gonna be a fun challenge today. I'm looking forward to getting a boat in him, but I tell you what, this is a rig that's gonna take him down.
I'm gonna go with a little bit faster bait, and what I'm gonna pick is the Johnny Darter. Now this is a glide bait, it's a very heavy bait. It's gonna move very fast and very erratically. This bait right here is a 3/4 ounce bait, so it's very heavy. I can move it very fast and cover water pretty quick. Now what I throw this on is a 7-foot medium action Villain 2.0 by Abu Garcia. Teamed with a STX spinning reel in the size 20 version. And the line that I like to use for this technique right here is same as like Steve said, that a new Ultra 8 fire line in 10-pound test is my go-to line. It casts great, that abrasion resistance, and the biggest key is that no stretch. So this technique right here, I think is really gonna one-up Steve. It's gonna cover more water, and I definitely think it's gonna put more fish in the boat.
The weather always plays a big factor on a Green Bay mission. With the front moving through, the guys will face increasing clouds and increasing wind speeds throughout the day.
So bottom line is right now conditions are gonna be a little bit tough. High sun, not a lot of wind, so you get to go your pattern first.
All right.
Actually, you get to have the choice if you want to go first or second, but
I'll take first.
You'll take first?
Oh, yeah.
All right, so you'll have boat control for 2 hours. We're both gonna fish your presentation, and we're gonna keep counting number of fish. So on this particular piece of structure, it comes up, well, tops out at 18, comes out at 35 feet of water. What you're liking is the top part of it.
Yeah, first off, usually I always like to check those high spots.
Shallow fish or the hungry fish?
Yep.
There are a few factors walleye anglers face on Green Bay that they don't have to deal with on other walleye waters. 2 of them are alien invaders. The goby has become the primary forage for walleyes, and zebra mussels have not only taken over and changed the bottom structure, they can play havoc with lures and lines. Another challenge is dealing with other predator species, and for Green Bay walleye anglers, the most voracious is the freshwater drum, more commonly known as the sheephead.
Not what we're looking for, but it's always fun to reel something in.
So far, the scoreboard reads invasives 2, sheephead 1, and walleyes 0. But this game is just getting started.
Sheepy or walleye?
Get into walleye.
Lake Commandos is brought to you by Ranger Boats, still building legends one at a time. Abu Garcia for life. Berkeley Power Bait. Fish bite and won't let go. Garmin Panoptics, all-seeing sonar. Join the pros who switch to Garmin. Fraybill's Aqualife Bait Station, trusted gear since 1938. Swagger Tackle, premium tungsten sinkers. And by Camp 365, the cabin that goes everywhere. Lake Commandos Steve Banaz and Corey Sprengle are chasing walleyes on mighty Green Bay, and so far the action has been hot for everything but walleye. Still, Corey Sprengle is one young fisherman that knows how to find and catch fish. In just 4 years as a full-time professional walleye angler, he's racked up an incredible record with 8 tournament wins, including the 2014 NWT Championship, and over $500,000 in winnings.
You know, in my career, you run across anglers that have a special talent, a special knack. Corey Sprengle is one of these guys that really understands fish at a level beyond most fishermen.
Think it's a walleye?
I don't know, it's not very big. But it's a fish and it's a walleye, baby. Oh yeah!
On the board.
Woo! Little guy. But we're on the...
But Lake Commandos know one bite does not make a pattern, and the rest of Corey's 2 hours go by without another bite. Still, the switch in baits to Steve's Berkeley War Pig pattern doesn't signal an increase in bites.
So Green Bay is starting to rock a little bit right now, and it's very hard to get the War Pig down to the bottom and have any confidence that we're bouncing bottom on every cast, but still having some momentum with the bait.
So with the wind building and conditions getting tougher, the guys decide to pull out the AquaView and get an up-close look at what's below.
This bottom is covered with suckers. Oh, there's a walleye. You know, so we see all these fish on the screen, you always assume they're walleyes. Boy, those zebra mussels are amazing.
Amazing how good you can see down there.
Yeah, we're what, 22 feet down?
Yep.
There's a walleye.
Oh, yeah, he's
That's
cool.
a good sight. Look how far off the bottom he is.
Yep.
That's a nice one. Look at that.
Two
Ooh,
of
and the
them.
2 of them. 3 of them. No, that's another
Yep,
sucker.
3. No, that's a walleye too, and one on the bottom.
You know what's interesting is when you have access to an underwater camera like the AquaView, this is a 700i HD, is you understand what's below you better. I mean, the fact that this thing is just carpeted with zebra mussels, I didn't expect that, but with this simple little camera now I understand what's beneath us.
With visual proof of walleyes in the area, the guys decide to go back to the bait that produced the only bite so far, the 3/4 ounce Johnny Darter. Almost immediately, Corey puts his first fish in the boat.
That's a chunk.
The hardest fish to catch is always that first one, and once you figure out how you caught that fish or got that strike, then you can start building upon it. That's what's called building a pattern, is what are you doing right and what are you doing wrong? The problem is if you're not getting bit, you have no idea what you're doing wrong. Walleye, isn't it?
Yeah, the way you hit it, it's got to be I can feel
Oh, there it is. Nice walleye. Nice job, dude.
Another beautiful fish on the Johnny Darter there. That fish hit almost right under the boat. It got all the way back to the boat, and I was just about to crank it up when that fish just cracked it hard.
Is that right? Yeah, you were talking to me about it.
I was about to walk up by you, Steve. I'm glad I waited just a little bit longer. Let's get this fish back. I think I'm starting to figure a little bit of things out on how I need to work this bait. Obviously, we got to change the conditions a little bit, and I've actually downsized, you know, how aggressive that I'm actually running this bait. I'm still running the number 7. I didn't downsize the bait, but I'm just working it a little bit slower, letting that bait actually catch it with my line, tight lining, and bring it back down the bottom just a little bit slower, and it's definitely making a difference here.
This segment of Lake Commandos is brought to you by Yeti. Yeti, built for the wild. The Lake Commandos are on a breezy and bouncy Green Bay, and for most of the day, they've been struggling to catch fish. But Corey SPRENGLE didn't become the hottest young walleye pro in the game by not being able to figure out tough bites. And unfortunately for Steve Panaz, he's figuring out this one.
There's one. This is a walleye.
Is it?
It's got to be, it hit pretty good.
Can you bring it back this way? Oh. There you go.
I took a chance.
Don't even trust the net, baby.
But that back hook's pretty beefy on there, and he was not getting off.
Yeah.
Another nice chunker.
Nice fish.
Starting to build a lead, Steve.
Yeah, you're starting to kick some booty now.
You know, one thing about glide baits, especially that Johnny Darter, these fish can hardly key in on what that bait is. They just see it darting very erratically. And to them, that's what triggers them to bite it. It doesn't matter if there's a school of bait fish that goes by. If there's one bait fish that breaks off that school and darts away, you know, that's what triggers that fish to bite is, you know, that instinct of that fish is trying to get away from me.
Fish?
Not very big.
Now the route is on.
Oh!
Wait, did you touch it?
It nicked my hand.
What do you got, 4 now?
Yeah, I think that's 4. Going head to head on Lake Commandos, you know, is a new deal for me. It was something really unique that I've never done before, but what it really allows you to do is, you know, when you're using that bait for that long, eventually it might not be the bait that might be of choice the way you usually use it, but what it allows you to do is fish that bait for a long period of time, and it makes you change how you're using it and to adapt to maybe the fish's moods, the conditions, and things like that. And that's what it really did for us today. The first round of for the Johnny Darter, it wasn't necessarily on fire, but as we started to continue to use it, we started to really figure out there was different changes we needed to do in our cadence, along with the direction that we were casting. So I really enjoyed the how this show was really built to help you understand not only building patterns, but also, you know, understanding baits and how you can use them different and apply different actions to really understand that particular lure. Sure feels like one.
Yeah, it sure looks like a walleye.
Oh, yeah, it's a good one.
Ooh, big one.
There's a nice
fish,
fish.
dude. Nice fish.
Love the color on them.
God, the Green Bay walleyes are just gorgeous, aren't they?
Yeah. Well, that's a nice fish right there, and I mean, catch them on a rod and reel. I mean, it's a big body of water, but when you start to break it down into smaller sections and use certain baits, obviously we figured out it's more of a bait thing today than we thought it was going to be, but
yeah,
I mean, just awesome fish.
You're kicking booty here, buddy.
Let's get her back.
Nice fish.
She's gone.
Hey, just passed a couple guys on the side of the road. They were fixing a blown tire on their boat trailer. Part of boat maintenance, especially for those who tow a lot, is to make sure that the boat trailer is up for the job. Besides straps, there are 3 main areas that deserve attention: wheel bearings, tires, and the electrical system, including your lights. And if your trailer has brakes like mine does, include brakes as number 4. We ask a lot of our wheel bearings, from repeated dunkings to hours and hours carrying heavy loads at highway speeds. Yamalube marine grease adheres to lubricated surfaces and is highly resistant to water. Trailer tires can suffer from sitting too long between trips, especially if you keep your boat on the water. Yamalube's silicone protectant and lubricant keeps tires supple between trips to help you avoid cracking and other issues. Moisture leads to corrosion, and that causes big issues for your electrical system. Yamalube YamaShield provides long-term protection against corrosion. Simply spray it on all connections. And if you have brakes, clean them occasionally with brake and contact cleaner from Yamalube. It degreases contaminants from both disc and drum brakes. Hey, when it comes to achieving peak performance, maintenance matters.
Lake Commandos is brought to you by Yamaha, reliability starts here. Berkeley, catch more fish. Plano, protect your passion. Aquaview, the original underwater camera. Yeti, built for the wild. ARE, outfit for life. And by Berkeley Trilene, anglers trust Berkeley Trilene. This segment of Lake Commandos is brought to you by Camp 365, the cabin that goes everywhere. On mighty Green Bay, Corey Sprengle is on a roll. He's figured out the secret to the Johnny Darter and is pulling away from Steve Panaz.
Switch to the purple.
I think that's what we were seeing on the, that's about what I saw on the camera just a few minutes ago. Dude, you're up like 6-1, is it 7-1?
It's something like that.
Oh, man. One of the things I really like about the Lake Commandos format is that you're forced to fish a particular bait with somebody else in the boat, and it really shows you the potential of that bait. Most of us, I would have changed from the Johnny Darter and gone to something else much earlier in the day, but Corey was showing me that the only reason I wasn't catching fish is I was doing it wrong. It wasn't the bait's fault, it was my fault. The key for me today was spending more time listening to him, but also to focus on the fall of the bait. And once I learned that, and once I learned what the correct fall was, it actually got easy. It's a walleye.
Oh, he just choked it too.
Yeah, did he eat that? Yes, I can do this!
That bait is gone. Steve really started to pick up on this technique. It's not an easy one, but it's one of those ones where you start to build confidence. You start to get a few bites, you start to understand when that bite is gonna come and the mistakes that you might be making when you do miss a fish or when you're not getting bit.
It's so exciting to finally really get it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, the big one.
Nice! Bruiser! God, look at the size of that. Ooh, what happened to him?
Lamprey mark.
Look at that beast. That's what we were hoping for right there, baby.
That's a good fish right there. I mean, he fought you too.
Yeah. What a giant walleye.
That's cool.
Look at that head right there.
You're learning.
I'm learning, baby.
You're catching on.
I figured it out now, and I understand what I was doing wrong. That is so cool. Let's get her back in. There, she's ready. Hang on. Boom, boom, tail beats. What a day. I mean, to come out here not understanding truly how to fish this style bait in the casting and to end the day with a giant like that. Corey's smoking me, and he should be. He's been fishing these baits for years, but I'm the winner today because I've learned a technique I can take anywhere. Well, dude, this will be the last fish of the day. It's the last fish of the day, and you beat me today, but you know what? I don't care.
It was sure fun.
What an awesome technique. that triggers fish that are not really that fired up. You know what the ramp guys are saying, the walleyes just aren't going.
Yeah, I think that guy said that there was what, you're lucky to catch 2, he said, or
Yeah,
something?
absolutely, and we crushed him today, and what a great technique. So I'm gonna let him go. We need to head in, but you are the walleye magician.
I don't know about that, I have my days.
But thank you for taking the time to teach me this technique. I mean, I got 3 walleyes here at the end. I mean,
Yeah.
I had to run.
Yep, no, it's one of those techniques where it takes some confidence. I mean, you got to get those bites, and the only way to get those bites is to keep trying. And you know, that's how I learned, and that's how about everyone learns. So it's an awesome technique. It just takes some patience.
Yeah, it does. All right, let's head in.
All right.
Hey, if you want to win what works for us, visit lakecommandos.com or check out our Facebook page.
I'm Captain George Mitchell. This is Coastal Chaos.
Man, oh man, is that a pretty sight. Hi folks, I'm Captain George Mitchell, and boy do I love a great live well full of bait. You know folks, there's a little bit of an art to catching bait, and there's a little bit of tackle involved. As you can see, I got a whole bunch of different sabikis as well as de-hookers, but really only 3 different rod setups. I'm gonna share some tips with you. First, let's start with the tackle. I like to use a 12 to 15 pound 6-foot or longer spinning rod when targeting smaller baits like herring, pilchards, and sardines. This is going to be best with a 4 or 6 sabiki. You know, for bigger baits like blue runners and goggle eyes, you got to step up your game. For those, I've got a 5500 loaded with 30-pound camo braid, and I'm using a slightly bigger sabiki. Bait fish are best if they're caught quickly and de-hooked without being touched and kept in a free-flowing bait well. It's best to use a de-hooker when releasing the baits to the live well, but the right de-hooker makes a big difference. Smaller wire de-hookers work best on the number 2 to number 6 sabikis, while a medium wire is fine for the size 6 to 10 sabikis. But bigger rigs like this double runner or mackerel rig require a much stouter de-hooker. Bigger baits take longer to reel in, so you might want to let them recover a little bit in the bait well before you put them right back out. When multiple guys are catching bait, it's helpful to start with 2 slightly different rigs. Start with what you think will work, but don't be shy about experimenting. Remember folks, details matter. Lively, fresh baits are the way to go. Coastal Chaos, tips for serious saltwater anglers.